Here we are, Sag Harbor, December 28th, 2008. Entering the Lewis household.
So here's the Christmas tree from the Pennsylvania Dutch tradition, and it's white turkey feathers twisted around wire, 19th century, and on it are all these paper decorations that were made in Germany between 1880 and World War I, when all the molds for these exquisite paper decorations were melted to make munitions for World War I. And here's George in the entrance hall. And here we go to the dining room. That's the prettiest shadow in Sag Harbor on the ceiling. Little Rococo tea service. And a portrait of the old Squire Lamadou, one of the early dignitaries of Sag Harbor, painted by Hubbard Leighton Fordham in about 1860. And here comes the shadow on the ceiling, I think. There we are. Prettiest shadow in Sag Harbor, coming from a free-blown glass bell over the period whale oil lamp. Looks like we're going to the kitchen. I told Whitney and Barney that I didn't need any more things. Don't get me any Christmas presents. And they found something that I did not have, which was two beautiful white orchids in the same pot from my two sons. And here comes the winter garden, which is a Pennsylvania Dutch tradition. If you were Louis XIV, maybe you would have an orangery so that you could bring a little life indoors during the midwinter. But if you were a little family of modest means and you just had one blooming plant in your house at Christmas time, you might do something to make a little bit more of it. This is kind of a secular crèche that they used to do with a collection of little 19th century animals. And I think we're about to walk through the butler's pantry. Into two parlors. Here's the back parlor with a collection of little 19th century Father Christmases on the mantel and a portrait by a local artist. And here we go into the front parlor. Oh, we're still in the back parlor. This certainly isn't like things we have now that are mass produced. You could tell that when they were making these little faces on these little Santas in Germany 100 years ago, whoever was doing it must have loved those little things they were making. I love those crackers, they call them. Those little things Whitney just passed right there. Those crackers. They're all handmade, and you can tell they weren't manufactured in all uniform, and they were made the size of whatever little present was in them. We've all these old glass beads on the mantle. It always reminds me of the surf and the flotsam and jetsam floating in the surf. The swan and the fish and all the little things. And this is a Sag Harbor portrait of a woman, a Mrs. Hendrick of Sag Harbor, painted by a Sag Harbor painter named Beers in about the middle of the 19th century. More little goodies. Whitney, let's have the